You may have heard that Taylor Swift had explicit content of her circulate the internet that was generated by AI. People call this AI porn. But now Congress is doing something about it. But last December, a cohort of all 50 attorneys general in the United States came together to send a letter to leaders in both the House and the Senate, urging them to establish a commission to study how AI was being used to exploit children. So does Taylor Swift have more political power than 50 attorneys general? Isn't that weird that it's attorneys general and not attorney generals? I don't like that. It's not weird that Taylor Swift has a lot of political power, but another thing that doesn't feel right, check out this headline. Lawmakers propose anti-non-consensual AI porn bill. I don't like that double negative. Anti-non-consensual. But the alternative would just be lawmakers propose pro-consensual AI porn bill, which makes them seem really interested in AI porn, which it might be the case. Do you remember when Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, said this?
It scans all the activity on your phone or your devices, your laptop, tablet, what have you. We do all of it. And then it sends a report to your accountability partner. So my accountability partner right now is Jack, my son, right?
We don't need legislation. Just get your son to help you out. That's normal. I didn't know they were so close. I don't think they should be that close. Maybe a part of the new AI porn bill will be everyone must have a family member monitor their compliance with the new legislation. But let's talk about the bills. H.R. 3106, the Preventing Deepfakes of Intimate Images Act, very sexy name. It will prohibit the non-consensual disclosure of digitally altered intimate images. Good stuff. This legislation both makes the sharing of these images a criminal offense and creates a right of private action for victims to seek relief, serving as maybe a powerful deterrent, unless they have no money. But another bill, the Disrupt Explicit Forged Images and Non-Consensual Edits. They just named it that to get the acronym Defiance Act. This would add a civil right of action if there were, quote, digital forgeries of an identifiable person without their consent. It would also let victims sue for financial damages from anyone who, quote, knowingly produced or possessed the image with the intent to spread it. And that's necessary because it's actually not just Taylor Swift who's affected, it's Mike Johnson and his son and many, many women. An analysis of 95,820 deepfake videos showed that 98% of all AI-generated videos online are pornographic, and nearly all of the individuals targeted are women. This scares people because what if your coworkers find it by accident? They might lose respect for you, or worse, they might not find it by accident and instead find it on purpose. So this legislation's great, and I'm not saying that in like a, yeah, let's protect porn, let's keep it real because that's the good stuff. I don't like porn because some people have made the mistake of thinking it's good sex to do it how they do it in porn, which is like going to a hibachi restaurant and thinking that's how I would cook a good meal. People do things differently when there's people watching. Stop trying to squirt stuff in our mouths. Don't burn down a happy home trying to make an onion volcano. People try hibachi a few times and they're like, wow, this is hibachi, it's cool. But eventually you get tired of watching men toss their shrimp around, and at some point you just want something that tastes good. I'm not shaming. Do your thing, but the best meals that I've had were made right at home with love. It's just that I'm getting older and I can't be throwing my eggs around with just anyone. So, anyway, this is not a pro-consensual porn story, this is just the news. Many states have actually introduced their own AI porn bills, but one in particular caught my eye. In Kentucky, they've tacked on laws with the AI porn prevention laws to prevent the sale of children's sex dolls, which apparently is not about when I was 12 and I made my Barbie scissor. It's unfortunately a sex doll that is a child. I believe their thinking in making this law is that the dolls encourage pedophiles to go for the real thing. But is this law actually preventing the crime of pedophiles harming children? Like, I like the spirit of the legislation, don't get me wrong, but I don't think getting rid of mocktails would reduce the amount of alcoholics in our society. Do you know what I mean? I could be wrong. Maybe it's like smoking marijuana, which is known to be a gateway into one day doing real drugs someday. Or were those people gonna do drugs anyway? Do you get what I'm saying? The thing that really gets me about this is, as a woman, there are women's sex dolls. The men using those, do they ask the doll for consent? Are they practicing really for eventually being with consenting women's sexual partners? As a woman, I just wonder if we should just ban those too. Because the guys who use the sex dolls don't tend to move on to the real thing without doing a crime either, do they? Everything's getting very complicated. I should also mention, for the grandmas and grandpas out there who I hope really enjoyed this segment, that there is also an AI law to tackle those scams where they use the AI voice of a loved one on phone calls. It's not that I don't think young people can be the target of this sort of crime too, it's just that we never really answered the phone. So anyway, February 8th, 2024, the Federal Communications Commission declared that calls using AI-generated cloned voices fall under the category of, quote, artificial or pre-recorded voice within the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, and therefore are generally prohibited without prior express consent. I am pro-consensual AI phone call scam, but I am anti-non-consensual AI phone scam.